in my head. So I'm happy with that. If people like it, good, it fair enough. If they don't, there's not a lot I can do about it.
No.
Right, we're on, folks.
Okay, Linda.
Right. Billy, tell me about your first night you went down the Reno.
I can't really remember the first night when I went down the Reno. I can't remember it at all. But I just remember being in there, and it was such a great atmosphere and the music was great. But I can't remember the first time I went in or the last time.
Can you tell me about a specific night you went in the Reno?
A specific night. I think I was with Gilly, Gilbert Ekpenyon, and I went down with Gilly from the Blue Note. And it was great. It was just great.
What year are we talking?
The year was, I was 17. So it would have been 67.
Wow.
67 it was, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the last time I went in there would have been in the early 80s, because I ended up going to Germany to work with Ray Buller and Gilbert. And I ended up staying there 5 years. When I came back, it had gone, it was flattened. Wow.
Why did you go working in Germany? What was you doing?
Well, do you remember earlier on when I said I shouldn't have done certain things? I don't think I should have gone to Germany. I should have gone to Saudi. That's where I should have actually gone, into Saudi, but I didn't. But I wish I would have done. But I spent 5 years in Germany welding. I was a welder by trade.
Right.
So I ended up in Germany, as I say, and I was there 5 years. Worked in shipyards, built oil rigs, platforms, mining equipment and everything. You know, you had to be coded to do it, you know, of a certain standard. But I'd done all that. So I ended up staying, you know, and coming home every 3 months. And I came home once and the Reno had gone. Mentioned the other day, but it didn't mention the name of the street. And I'm sure it was Dundalk Street, behind the wall, facing the dental hospital. Left there, went to Widdenshaw, Crossacres. Stayed about 6 months, but my dad didn't like it. So we ended up coming back down to Hume. We bought a house in Hume. So I lived near the Hume Hippodrome from being about 4 up to being 14. Then we moved up to Cheetah Mill, stayed up there 3 years, and then we moved back down to Hume when I was 17, and that's when I started to go into the Reno.
To do something that people find impossible, try to describe the atmosphere of the Reno.
The atmosphere of the Reno, it was, to me, it was like something that you'd see on a movie.
Yeah.
And it was like you was living, it was actually happening to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're not watching it on the movie, you're in the movie.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And it was like that. It was brilliant. I just thought it was brilliant.
What movie? What movie are we in?
Well, there was a few movies out at the time, weren't there?
Go on.
Oh, Shaft was out. Shaft was out then, and there was, I think there was another film, and it was Bobby Womack who done the theme music to it.
Oh, what film?
42nd Street,
okay.
across 42nd Street or something. It was all music like that, you know, that they played in the Reno as well. So it was just good to be there. Felt good to be there, because any other clubs in town or whatever, I never really felt comfortable.
Why is that, Billy?
In a way, you get the feeling that, not that you shouldn't have been there, but it was a fitting in. at that time, I didn't really feel like I fitted in, you know, in certain clubs.
Tell me why, though. Be more specific.
It was like when the Beatles was out and the Rolling Stones and all that, and they were doing their songs, I never really felt part of that because I couldn't have a Beatle haircut. And I just kind of felt out of place going to places where they played that sort of music because I felt like I didn't fit in. It was as simple as that.
So before you mentioned the Four Tops, tell me about that.
I was about 16 and I'd been listening to like, you know, what was in the charts of the time, the Beatles, not the Four Tops, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Herman's Hermits and all that.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of music that I didn't feel it was for me. And I felt distant to it,
yeah,
to be honest with you. And then I heard the Four Tops one day on the radio when I was 16 and it clicked. I thought, yes, that is what I like. So I knew there was something else. And then shortly after that, I started going into the Reno. And then it was better again.
Mm-hmm.
It was better again. Yeah, I liked it. It was good. But the same rule, I must say that if you was going in there and you made an habit of it, it could hold you back from what you really should be doing.
Wow. That's interesting. Go on, tell me more.
Well, I think I lost a few years out of my life going there because I was just smoking drugs at the time, you know. You're stoned all the time, so you sleep more, don't you? You end up going home at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning, so in that way, it holds you back.
Yeah.
You know, but I enjoyed it. I must say I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. It holds you back. Holds you back from what?
Well, getting your priorities right. When you go there and you start smoking drugs and drinking, you're losing your priorities. It's different if you make your living from there,
yeah,
or around there. That's different. But I was a grafter.
Right.
So for me, it was holding me back in a way from doing what I should be doing.
Was you a welder?
Because I had a family.
Then? Oh, okay.
I had a family then.
Wow. You had a family when you were 17?
No. I was with my ex at 17. And then we got married, I think, when I was 23.
Right.
We just used to live in that house just on the corner.
Wow. When did you have your first child then?
Well, I was married 5 years, 23, 24, 26, 27 when my son was born.
Right.
So we'd been married 5 years, but I'd been with her 3 years before I got married. So it was like 9 years or so.
Wow,
and then my son was born, you know.
That's a decent amount of time them days before you have a child.
Yeah. And then that was 1977 when my son was born. And that was the year I went to Germany.
The first time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Just had something and I've forgotten.
That was the first time.
So you're welding there. You're welding from that early age.
I was welding from an apprentice, sort of. Yeah, I was young. Yeah, but I learned most. What I learned here was okay, but when you got to Germany, it's a different kettle of fish.
Why?
Everything was bigger. The machines were bigger, you know. So you get hold of the welding torch and you think, bloody hell, that's heavy. And then when you press it, you can feel the force of the wire coming out or the welding rod burning. Whereas here, it was light work, so you didn't feel the power in the machines, if you know what I mean. And I learnt a lot out there. Yeah, I learnt a lot.
Billy, we've laughed too much before.
No, well, if you look at on my phone,
Yeah.
that's my caption. Keep smiling.
Yeah.
Have you not seen it?
No, but
We
talked so much before. I think we've burnt ourselves. Yeah, we should have had the camera rolling all the time. Just tell me some Reno stories, man. Tell me something that you seen that was just brilliant or shit or you shouldn't have seen.
I was sat in there once by the gambling room outside, where the table was just outside the door. And at that time, I used to get quite paranoid when I used to have a smoke.
Me too, man. I used to get right fucked up.
Yeah, I was paranoid, a bit paranoid, you know. So you never really let yourself go.
Yeah.
You just always, you know, thinking. And one day, this black guy from the bar area started walking across the dance floor towards me. Yeah. Where I was sitting. Yeah. And he was tall and he had like topsy-turvy hair, you know, all twisted. And his eyes was red, you know, really red. And I shit myself. I thought it was coming for me, you know. Oh, paranoid, a young lad. Was he a big grown man? Oh, he was big, yeah, but he was big, but he looked. What did you do? I just thought, right. In my head, I thought, oh, what am I going to do here if he comes over here? I was thinking what I was going to do and how I was going to handle it, you know. But he just ended up walking past me and going in the gambling room. I shit myself. Just minding his own business. Yeah. But it was just the look of him and the way with smoking the weed had got me on a trip, you know. Was you paranoid about your mates? You know, like when you was like really stoned, man. No, not really, no. Sometimes you think a bit paranoid, you know. Like what? I don't really want to mention it. No, tell me, man. Come on. No, I can't mention it. I used to feel like an imposter. I used to feel like everybody else was cool and I was a twat. You know, just paranoid to fuck. Well, to a certain extent, you do feel that because you're looking at other examples, aren't you? Yeah. Of other people. Yeah. And you're looking at how they are and how they dress and everything. Yeah. So you do have to brush up on your gear, don't you? You know, if you want to be in the movie. No, exactly. Tell me like what? Tell me like, I can't even... No, well, it's been... A lot of the guys have already said it. It was the suits that you could buy and the dress and the stiff collars and it was good. And in fact, there was Tommy Toby won Manchester's well-dressed man. Did he? Yeah, I think it was the 60s. Wow. Early 60s. I thought I'd just mention it because maybe a lot of people don't know that. But who had the competition? The Manchester Evening News or something? I think it must have been the Manchester Evening News. Yeah, that's some accolade. Must have been. Yeah. Yeah. He ended up living in Holland. But actually, Dave Walker. Do you know Dave Walker? No. Well, he used to go in the Reno and that, but he lives in Prestwich, he's from that area. He was from Cheetham Mill originally, Salford. He had, his mother had a brother, and he used to walk around town like a sergeant major, and he had a tash that curled up, you know. A white guy? No, he was mixed race. Oh, okay. But I can't remember his name. Well, he was Dave Walker's uncle. You know, Dave was his nephew. So was he crazy? You mean? No, he wasn't crazy at all. Well, why was he? Well, he was a relation to Tommy. Yeah, it was all the one family. No, he wasn't crazy at all. No, but you're saying he walked around like a sergeant major. Well, he'd been in the army. Oh, he'd really been in the army. He'd done a lot of time in the army, and I think he was, you know, it must have been a sergeant or something. can't remember his name, but these are the old mixed race people. These guys would have been in the 80s now.
Wow.
So, you know.
Wow.
So we have been here a long time, you know.
Yeah.
Well before our generation, even before the Africans came, there was mixed race people in England, even going back to the 17th century.
Really?
Yeah, there was, yeah. And I think even Queen Victoria made a statement once, because London was full of black people, and they didn't, in them times, didn't want to really get overrun with us, you know. I'm sure it could be checked. You know, I've never checked it, I've just been told that.
Right.
And I hope the person who told me that was speaking common sense. Otherwise, I've just made myself look a fool, haven't I? It's true. You know, you like to tell what's true sometimes.
Yeah. So, where's your mum and dad from?
My mother was from Oldham.
Okay.
And my father was from Ghana in West Africa.
How did they meet?
I don't know, probably down Moss Side.
Wow. What would your mum be doing in Moss Side from Oldham?
Well, I think she moved from Oldham to down this area, yeah. I don't know where they met, but I know they got married at All Saints at the register office.
Wow. Oh, All Saints. So why is your dad here from Ghana? Is he a stowaway or has he come for work?
He was a merchant seaman.
Oh.
You know, he was a merchant seaman, but I really heard another story that when he was coming over here, he went to the Gambia and lived at the Gambia for some time, him and his mate, and then they made the way from the Gambia to Manchester.
How did they do that?
Well, they don't know, but they did. They didn't all stow away, you know.
Yeah.
Some made it through. Well,
working.
It did work in the merch though, so there's a bit of confusion, you know. But I did hear a story when he was coming. He came overland, so I don't know, but it did work in the merch. It was a stoker.
When you first arrived, you was talking about you had a different story about dads.
Yeah, well, what I actually mean to say is, my father was okay. You know, he still had his African values, but it was okay. So not all fathers are the same.
In what way was he okay?
Well, I didn't have to stand on one leg or face the wall or anything, you know what I mean? He didn't do any of that. I didn't experience that. But I mean, I had the belt a few times, you know.
Yeah, we used to get that.
And I used to be afraid of him in a way because of his authority. But we always had food and he was always there.
You have you don't mind me mentioning this, because your mum left at an early age though.
My mother left when I was 17 and I was living up at Cheetham Mill just before I moved to Hume. And she moved up there, and I think I only seen her 3 times in maybe 18 years.
Wow.
Didn't see much of her. She seen my son once. Then I had my daughter, but she never really seen my daughter.
Wow. So, you know. In all that time, you've still got a relationship with your dad?
Yes.
So
I was living with him, yeah.
Oh, was you?
I was still living with him, yeah.
How old was you when you left living with your dad?
I was about 19.
Right.
No. Yeah, I was around 19.
So was all 3 of you still living with your dad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And my sister left when she was about 19. She left my dad's before we came back to you when we was up Cheetham Mill. She left then and went with an Irish lad.
Right. I don't know how much, right, we can cut out anything. I don't know how much I'm allowed to reveal here, because you've got a younger white brother, haven't you?
Yes.
Am I allowed? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, of course.
No, go on then. Tell me about that then.
I've got a younger brother. Had a younger brother. He was 2 years younger than me. He was the youngest of three. My sister was 2 years older than me. I was the middle one. And then my brother was white. I never really, ever gave it a thought when I was young why he was white.
Right.
Never dawned on me, never clicked until I went to school. And I think I was in the 3rd or the 4th year. No, I was in, he'd just come to the secondary school, no, the junior school. I think he might have been 9, is it? How long do you do in the junior school? 9 to 11. You finish at 11.
Yeah,
and
you
you're
start
there for
about
4 years, aren't you?
Yeah, you start about 5.
Yeah. Well, when my brother came to the school when I was in 2nd year, all the people I know was saying, he's not your brother, he's white. And then that's when it clicked, you know, that it was a different colour to me.
But your dad brought him up,
But
though.
my dad brought him up, yeah.
Wow.
He brought him up, yeah. And nothing was ever said.
You don't remember anything ever being said?
I don't remember my father saying he's different to you or my mum saying whatever. No.
That's just, I find that astonishing.
You know. Well, Africans would do that. They'd bring white children up. There's others who've done it.
Yeah, but Billy,
You know.
that's normally born before you with the woman. He's born during.
Yeah, he's born after, yeah.
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 So he must have been a saint, man.
Well, I often thought, well, if he was the first one and he was white, then there was me and my sister, who was mixed race. That way round would have been better.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that way.
Why would it have been better?
Well, in my head, I would be thinking, oh, she must have been married to a white man before.
Yeah.
And now she's with a black guy. Whereas she was with the black guy, but she had the white baby. I've never told that story before and the way I feel about it, but that's how it was.
Yeah. Wow. Those sort of things fascinate me, you know, that he didn't say anything and that it carried on. Did your mum never say anything?
Never. Never. It was never spoke about. It was just like normal to me.
She just, because they used to go away, when they were having babies then, they used to go away for 2 weeks, didn't they? You know, like they go to hospital, wouldn't they, the
Well,
mum?
I remember going to my grandmother's and staying with her while that may have been happening.
Yeah.
I remember my dad taking me up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember things like that, where they used to go missing. And because you're a kid, you don't know what's happening, do you? They just go missing and then they come in a taxi. The only time they ever got a taxi, they'd arrive back in a taxi with a baby. That's how I remember my mum, you know. Yeah.
So, but I do think my childhood was quite good. You know, and you only think about other things when you get older, don't you?
Yeah.
And you think, you know. But
What?
I'm not alone.
What? Tell me what you're thinking.
There's other families with white brothers or sisters in that black family.
Born after, though. Both my parents have got kids before
I can't say they were born after. Probably not.
Yeah.
But they are there and they've brought them up.
Yeah, my mum had...
Larty
yeah.
was the last... Well, he was the only one to his father, Larty. And his brothers and sisters were white.
All right. Larty Lawson.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Larty. I don't know whether I should have said that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've said anything out of order. Yeah. Larty. So he was brought up in a white family himself.
So, what's your brother's name?
He was called David.
What did he think of it?
Never spoke about it. We never spoke about it.
And did he call your dad Dad?
Yeah.
Wow.
And he was living at my dad's till when I mentioned before what happened, but I won't go into that.
Okay.
He was living there then.
Wow.
When it happened, you know.
I find that astonishing. Don't you find that astonishing? I suppose it's normal to you.
Well, it was just normal to me. I just thought he'd always been there.
Yeah.
So my dad was always there for him, you know.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did he go in the Reno, your brother?
Yeah, he's been in a few times, yeah.
Yeah. What about your
But
sister?
not with me. My
Oh, okay.
sister's never been in there. She just ended up with an Irish guy and lived up Cheetah Mill, you know. Then she moved to Ireland.
Does she live in Ireland?
Yeah. All the children were brought up there. 10 of them.
She's got 10 kids.
Yeah. I don't think he was Catholic, you know. But he was a drunkard at the same room.
Lots of Irish people. What was we talking about that we was laughing about before?
Can I have a drink of water, please?
Of course you can, man.
For all you, man. Little wizened, you know, born probably about 1920, 1930, you know, navel tattoos, all the bollocks. But he was a great guy and he used to love me. I was only young, but I was still an apprentice then, you know, painting-wise. Although I say, like, I started as a commercial artist when I come out of, you know, detention. And just went into decorating because it was the easiest extension, really, of commercial art and signwriting, wasn't it? So I was doing that. And he was my foreman.
That's it.
And he used to take me in Hume Labour Club regular with him.
Billy, have you never been to prison?
No, I haven't, have you, Bill? No. Lucky fella.
No, I haven't never been to
lucky, mate.
It's like I said, I was just a grafter.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't go thieving or anything like that, you know. But I took a couple of chances, you know, in my life. But I've never been to prison, no.
I wish I could
Is
say
that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a great thing, Billy.
You can't call it.
Stinkholes, belly of the beast. Well, when you're young and you do it, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Haven't you? But I need to go there now. They're madhouses, they're mental institutions now, aren't they?
Well,
they're not prisons, they're crazy.
Well, it's just done about 3 years, not so long ago.
Aren't they?
At his age.
What age are going? At our age now, Bill, you'd be completely lost in the jail now. Imagine it. With all them young hooligans running about and all going crazy and spitting at screws and that, you think, oh my God, get me out of this fucking madhouse. Well, you know.
I think Dave Duando's son looked after him though.
Yeah.
Made sure that it was okay, you know.
Yeah.
But to go in there now at our age, no, I'm glad I've never been in. Fuck that.
I don't blame you.
Up, you know what I mean?
Don't blame you. Do you know what, Bill? I couldn't wait to. I served. This is the thing with me. I know what I'm like. So I knew even before I got any sentence how much I was going to suffer because I served every single second of a prison sentence because I fucking hate captivity. My heart, my head. You know, I used to go in and used to adopt the philosophy of a monk in a cell.
You
know, I used to have to turn into a monk to get through it. I used to say, well, I'm a monk then. You know, and that's the way I used to cope with it. And I always got great jobs. I always had belting jobs. I was outside work parties, joiners, working with the Boilermakers, you know, all the work screws. I always got great jobs. Or in the hospital, not even in a pad, you know, sleeping on a ward. But I still was a caged bird in captivity, you know, crying out for freedom. It used to break my heart.
I know.
It used to break my heart.
I'm laughing because I do know it as well. When I first ever went to work when I was 36, that's the first time I ever went to work. And I worked in a post office and I remember being out the window exactly like reading like, oh, you know, seeing birds outside on trees. You know, while I was caged. Yeah. Come on, Billy, are we getting sharp now?
Yeah.
Are we up now? Have we had like a good break?
Yeah, where did we finish off?
I've no fucking idea.
We were speaking about my brother.
You'll pick your
Oh, yeah.
When I said, I think we ended it though.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, go on.
Hang on, let me get
No,
it
right.
together. What we're talking about. Yeah, we was talking about that Dave's uncle who had his tash.
Oh, yeah. Dougie.
Dougie. Yeah, that was his name. Dougie. Yeah. What do you want to start off with?
Where do you want to start? What interests you? What did you come to talk about today about the Reno?
Oh, it was a great place. It was okay. It was a good place. But then I think I started to say, with me being a grafter,
yeah,
I could only go down on maybe a Friday and a Saturday.
Yeah.
I didn't make an habit of going there in the week because I
Right.
had to go to work. But weekends was the best nights anyway.
So what were you saying before then? You said you didn't get, because you couldn't get up because you couldn't get, you were sleeping. So was you missing work then? I ended up
You end up going to the Reno most of the time, smoking till late, and then you're not going to be in a state to go for a job, are you? You're not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe some people did, but it would be very hard to do. I think even Dave Duando said it. You know, when you smoke, you flipping can't get to work and all that, you know. If you work for yourself, it's different. Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, so you can't, I didn't get into it too much that way because I knew I had just got married and, well, I wasn't married then, but
you just got into a relationship.
I was in a relationship and she was a worker. She was a grafter, yeah.
Did your wife go down the Reno?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And my sister, Phyllis.
Right.
Phyllis and Sonia, you know.
Is that where you met?
No, I met in town. I think I met at the Blue Note in town. That's where I met Sonia, yeah. Yeah.
It's happening again, man. You're drying up again.
No, I'm not.
No, it's me. Go on.
You're the interviewer.
I know, but I don't know what I was supposed to, because it's right. I've got to mention Les. It's because Les won't be on camera. I've gone upset. Because you two bounce off each other when you're chatting.
It's made my job harder.
No, it has.
It's made my job harder.
Right, I've said it now. Go on then.
Nevertheless,
go on.
I'll get through.
No, go on. Get through, lad. Get through. Go on. What the hell was we? Because every time we come off camera, we start laughing.
So where are we at now?
I don't know. Because every time we come off camera, just tell me about your favourite people in the Reno.
Well, I was glad to kind of like know all the mixed race boys.
Yeah.
You know, because I actually felt, like I was saying, in the clubs in town, I didn't really see, well, the clubs where I used to go to, I was just going to the wrong places.
Yeah.
But when I actually came down the Reno and seen all the half-caste people and everything, I just felt part of a big family.
Oh.
You know, it was like, yeah, this is okay. I'm part of this, you know.
Oh. I do know, you know.
That's how I felt, you know. It was good to be down there. But as I say, I had to take it easy a little bit, you know. So I never got into heavy drugs or anything like that, you know.
No, I didn't. I'm scared of them. When you first arrived, right, you said, I don't know how much I'm allowed to be, but whatever. When you first arrived, you said that you messed up your marriage, so...
Ah, that story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my priorities were mixed up. You start going out, and you can... I think I took Sonia for granted, really. You know, that's my ex, really. And I didn't play the part. She played the part. She was okay, it was me. But I can't cry over spilt milk. I've done it. There's nothing I can do now. But I just feel that I could have been a better dad. You know, a better husband. Definitely.
Yeah, but you've just said to me, right, that you weren't going in the Reno in the week, you was only going that week, and you weren't taking heavy drugs, and you was a grafter. What more could you have done?
No, but I still was doing things like if I wanted to go out, I'd go somewhere, or I'd take off for 2 days with one of my mates to say Wales or something.
Oh, okay.
And I was doing things like that. A bit, really more and more. Plus I worked out in Germany all the time, and used to come home every 3 months. So looking at it, it's my opinion, I just feel guilty, for the way I was, because Sonia, it's like it's all got to Sonia now in my relationship, but she was okay. She was a good person. She came from a good family. They were all pretty good. It was me who was different. I was kind of like a bit wild.
Why?
I wasn't stable. I had no stability, even though I was in a relationship and I was getting children. I still felt like I was kind of trapped.
Oh, okay.
I felt kind of trapped. And possibly I may have got married too young.
Yeah.
And I think that was the problem. I got married too young, but really, looking back, I can see where I've made my mistakes.
Yeah. Do you think the Reno had perhaps something to do with that?
That life, yeah, of course I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you wish you had one or the other?
I wish I would have had it right. I wish I would have had my priorities right at the time. But you're young, you go down to the Reno and you think, oh, what a place, this is buzzing. So you kind of get carried away, don't you? With the Reno and that kind of life.
Yeah.
So it takes you from, you sidetrack off the road, you sway off the road. You know what I mean? When you know you should be on this path.
Yeah, but you're only being young, though.
Yeah, but that's right. You're only being young, but it's that time when you're young that you should be. I'm not saying you don't enjoy yourself, but that's the time when you should put your efforts into building yourself up in whatever field it may be.
Tell me more about that.
And it can stop you. It can stop you. But that's why I went to college when I was 47. I wish I would have done it when I was 23.
Wow. What did you go to college to do?
I went to learn jewellery design and making it.
Wow.
Tommy was at the same course, but he was on a different course, but in the same college at the time.
What made you think you could make jewellery? What made you think, I'm going to go to college?
Why I actually did that is I was in the door one day and the guy was giving me a bit of grief, So he says, the only way you can get out of this, where you have to sign on and all that, is go to college.
Right.
What would you like to do? So I said, I thought jewellery design and making it, thinking they wouldn't have a position. Right?
Still a wrong un.
Next thing.
Still a fucking wrong un,
The guy said to me, brilliant.
Yeah.
Go and see this guy.
Yeah. Did you feel fucked up then, messed up?
No, I just thought, well, I'll just go and see
right,
what's happening, So I went down to the college, went up to see the guy.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, a welder. I said, yeah. He says, yeah, you can start. When do you want to start? Monday. So I was on a course from the following Monday.
Wow.
And I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. That made me feel, it lifted me.
Oh, we're cooking now. Go
Yeah,
on,
it
your
lifted me because I learnt a skill.
Right.
But saying that, it was already in me.
No, exactly, because you're already... Go on,
it was already in me. That just brought it out to the... It brought it out of me, where other people would see me work and say, oh, that's brilliant. I was selling stuff to the tutors and everything. It was brilliant. I'm glad I did it. I'd do it again.
Billy, so you've never made jewellery before you decide to tell this man that you want to go on a jewellery course because you think they're not going to have a course?
Yes.
You've never made jewellery? You've never wanted to make jewellery?
Never.
Wow.
But I was a raw iron. I've worked on fabrication. So I've always worked on fabricating things anyway. So I used to make things like candle sticks and things like that. And even I made a mask once out of a piece of pipe. Cut the pipe and built it all up and welded it all up and polished it all up. And that it was then that I thought, oh, I'm all right at this. But I didn't take that any further because I ended up going to do the jewellery. So the jewellery was an extension of the welding.
Right.
I just took it to another level.
No, but that's extreme though. What was you welding?
Anything.
So he's welding like ships?
I've welded ships, I've welded platforms for oil rigs, I've done boats, I've done mining equipment, roof supports, loads of different stuff.
But that's crazy, Billy, to go from that, the size of that, to the intricacy of jewellery.
It was just easier. It wasn't as heavy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The metal was light.
Wow.
And you could do it sitting at home or wherever.
Did you want to be an artist when you were young? Was it in you at all?
It was in me, but I didn't know.
Tell me what...
I didn't know.
Well, obviously...
Saying that, when I was about 5 and 6 or 7, the school teacher, the head of the school, the junior school, used to talk to me a lot, and she used to... I started to make, you know, like gypsy caravans.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, what's happened?
So I had it then. Because I was doing good things then, but I didn't know.
What would you make in a gypsy caravan?
Don't know.
No, with what? Metal, wood?
Card.
Oh.
Out of card, you know. So I had it, I think I had it then. But didn't know, you know.
Wow.
But that's another story.
No, tell me that story then. Why is that another? Tell me that story. What put that into your head to make gypsy caravans?
I don't know.
You just was in school about 6.
I've thought about this a few times.
Go on.
I've thought, is it because my mum was part Irish or whatever? I think she was, you know, Welsh.
Yeah, that's definitely an Irish.
That might have been that. You know, it might have been something to do with that. I don't know. Really don't know.
And you were good at that?
Well, she thought they was okay. Yeah, they were good. I used to paint them up and everything, you know.
Oh, so you was talented all the time. The amount of people that's been on these videos, though, that was talented. That is talented.
You see, it's like if you was going to the Reno too much, you couldn't develop your talent, really, of whatever it was, because you're not putting all your efforts into what you should be doing. I know you've still got to go out and have a laugh, but it's like you should do that in moderation, shouldn't you, really? And not make a great habit of it if you want to
I just think, well, would you have wanted to? Would you have? I would never, right, at the age of 16, thought, I'm going to be a writer.
No, well, that's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem, you see, because you get into the Reno and that life, and you end up spending years down there, you know, and then you can think back, and looking back in hindsight, I think, I wish I would have done something earlier on in my life, rather than finding out that you could do something at 47.
Yeah.
You know, I would have liked to have done that when I was 27.
But Billy, could you have done that when you was 27 though?
Yes, why not?
I know, but where?
I could have done it.
Where though? Because when you're 47, there's loads of things in place for working class people. There's loads of courses. There's loads of. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't. It may have been harder.
Yeah.
To do it.
Yeah.
But you should be looking at getting it together now.
You're talking
while you're younger.
You're talking to younger generations now.
Yes, you've got to do that.
Yeah. Well, the opportunity
you've got to be more
is more
focused,
there,
haven't you? And then do what you really want to do, and have a go at it now. It's easy now, like you said. Back in the day, it wasn't so easy, was it?
No, because you know, in the 70s, right? It might be the late 50s. There's not really any white working class writers before the late 50s, let alone black working class writers. I think it's Saturday night and Sunday morning. Do you remember Albert Finney's in the film?
Yeah.
Look Back in Anger, that played the film with my guy Richard Burton.
Yeah.
You know, they wrote in the late 50s, and I might be talking absolute shit here, but they're the first white working class voices, let alone black working class voices.
Yeah, but these days, it doesn't matter how you speak. You know, the Beatles spoke like Scouse, didn't they? You know, you've got the DJs, Mike Sweeney and everybody else, who just talk like us. Like Mancunians, you know. But
Billy, I remember that coming in my lifetime. I remember when the news and everything and the Beatles spoke posher than they do.
In later times.
They developed to dare to be working class. Do you remember that?
Hang on, say that again, sorry.
When I was little, all of the news, right, and most TV programmes, the presenters, they call it, is it all received pronunciation with a certain posh voice? Yes. Right? It's people like Zoe Borland that dared to first, and Chris something. Chris. There wasn't working class voices on the telly. Do you remember that?
Well,
Am I talking shit?
No, you're not talking shit, because I can remember leaving school and really realising that if I went in a conversation with some academics or students, that I didn't feel like I could cope with it because I didn't know the Queen's English.
There you go.
You know what I mean? I didn't know what a lot of the words were and the pronunciation. So it was a struggle in a way, because it held me back from doing what I would have liked to have done. If I had have felt confident at that time, I would have done what I wanted to do.
Well, there you go.
But I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have it. It's only in later life that you realise that, you know, you can do what you want within reason, you know.
By being given the opportunity.
By being given the opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, we could have all done something at a young age, but at our age it wasn't there. You know.
I didn't think so. But also there was another thing as well that we were talking about earlier. There's also your own kind who kind of think, who the fuck do you think you are? Do you know, if I'd have gone round at the age of 16 going, wow, I'm going to be a fucking writer.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does she think? Oh, she's a nutter.
Yeah, no, that's right.
She's a goddamn nutter.
That's
right.
You
know, there's that other side as well.
Yeah, but really, I've always kind of been a loner anyway. So I don't really I do really what I want to do. You know, if somebody thinks, oh, I don't like this or whatever, well, that's their opinion. You know, I'm not really bothered what other people think of me anymore.
Anymore? That's a good added though. Is that anymore or when you were 16?
No, when I was 16, you're conscious of things, aren't you? You're more conscious. And you think, oh, I hope they don't think I'm this or I hope they don't think I'm that. No, I don't care.
Yeah.
I am as I am. I am what I am.
Yeah.
And I am what I eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's how it was back in the day. You think about other people too much, you know.
Yeah. Do you think that was a side? Do you think all young people? Do you think all young people think like?
Yes.
In any club,
I think all young people think that way, unless they are indifferent. And when I say indifferent, they may have been brought up a different way. When you're brought up from middle class, you've got a bit of a struggle anyway, haven't you?
Why?
Because your chances are not really there.
Working class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From back in the day.
Yeah.
We didn't have the chances and we didn't have the education.
Yeah.
You know. Whereas I think now, if they want to put their minds to it, you can achieve.
Well, the web for one. You can find out anything on the web.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
The Reno. What's your favourite night in the Reno?
There was all good nights, you know. I remember coming out of there a couple of times and could hardly get up the stairs. You know, having a whitey. Oh. You know.
Is that drink or drugs or both? Both. A mixture.
It was both.
Yeah.
You know. I remember coming out of there one night.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't have been drinking and driving, but at the time I was.
We've all done a bit of that.
I come out the Reno and there was a couple of people with me and I'm giving them a lift.
Yeah.
So I go around the back where it was parked, near the Capitol, is it? Round the corner.
At the Western.
The Western.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went in there, got in my car. I thought it was my car.
Oh, no.
And I'm turning the key. And I thought, oh, what's wrong with the car? It won't turn, you know.
That's some fucking piss drunk driving, man.
Then I looked up and I see my car in front of me. I thought, oh, I'm in the wrong car. I thought, all right, idiot, man. You know. So I said, oh, we're in the wrong car. So I went to my car, got in, started it up, you know, but it was weird. Same colour and everything.
Billy, what was the other people saying when you was trying to start the car?
I just said, oh, it's not starting. I don't know what's wrong with it.
What were they doing?
They were sat in the back.
Just waiting.
Just waiting for me to get the car going. Until I said it was the wrong car, you know.
And what did they say when you
just started laughing. And then we just got in the car.
But let me just say, did you feel messed up at that moment? Or was it funny?
It was funny.
Man, I would have wanted to kill myself.
No, it was funny because I thought, well, I'm sat in my car.
Yeah.
It was identical to mine. I'm sat in my car. The flipping ignition won't turn on, but it opened the door.
Yeah,
but it wouldn't work the ignition. You know. It was funny. That was one instance.
Yeah.
Another time when I ended up being in Monton House.
Yeah.
And I had a whitey there, but that was a bad one. I won't tell you what happened. No, please, I can't. I can't tell you.
I'll have to get you in a stranglehold. Come on, Billy, man.
It's pretty nasty.
No, God, you've shit yourself.
No, I never shit myself, but I ended up shitting. I come out of Monton House.
Yeah.
I lock up, and I could hear the music that they played in there.
Yeah. And
the
music fucks you up if you fucked up. Go on.
I staggered out of there, and then I took a left, went over, I think is it Moss Lane?
Yeah.
And there was some big houses, white houses.
Oh, yeah.
I went down the alleyway there. I shit. And I was spewing up.
Oh, man, that's a whitey, man.
That was the worst experience.
That's a full-on whitey,
I was just full of gas and everything, you know, cold sweats.
Yeah.
Oh.
And had you wet in there?
Pardon?
Had you eaten in there? That sounds more like food.
No, it was just the drink and the smoke.
And it just fucked you out.
It just done me in. You know.
I've had some bad ones,
no, it's
man.
terrible. Didn't really want to mention that.
But that's a good That's it.
Have we got any more stories like that?
Yeah, go on, tell me some more stories, man. Fuck that we ruined our life, it was fun.
I remember being about 17 and we'd just come from Cheetah Mill. And I used to know this girl who lived up Cheetah Mill, who was living in the same area where we moved to. Anyway, there was me, Gilly, and these two girls, and we went back to her mum's house. So Gilly's gone wherever, and I'm in the living room, but I ended up taking my pants off and everything, you know, and getting ready to do whatever. And the door opened. I stood up, got hold of my pants, put them in front of me like that, and I sat down like that.
And who is it?
It was her mother.
Fucking hell, man.
It was her mum. You know.
How long would you sat like that?
Oh, not very long. I mean, she come in,
and
I had my pants there like that over my legs, and she walked in the other room, and I just put my pants on and went. You know, that was another story.
Never to get an hard on again.
Oh. No, it was embarrassing.
I bet it was.
Embarrassing. And then that thing about the car. So I have had some embarrassing moments, you know.
Did you ever see the girl again?
I did, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Won't tell you what happened next.
Oh man, you can't say that. You know now I've got to know. Tell me what happened next, man. Don't make me take to a stranglehold.
No, I'm trying to be a good gentleman here. I don't want to give all me...
No, it's too late, man. You shit on Monton Street, man. You could never be a gentleman again. It's over.
No, it's not. That was I was young. I was young and foolish.
Come on, tell me what happened with the girl.
No, I never. I just used to say hello after that.
Did you? And walk past really quick.
Just say hi, you know.
Do you know what it made me think of? The pants. Do you remember? Oh, you wouldn't have done them. Then where you used to pull them out and put them books when we were kids and used to have stick-on clothing with tabs.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah.
I didn't play with them, mind you, you know.
Yeah.
But I remember them. Yeah.
Come on, another story, Billy.
Yeah, okay. I was out with Gilly when I was living in this house here.
Yeah.
And we went to a pub that was at the bottom of the road here.
Caught on the hop.
Where the market is. The market's on that place now, isn't it?
No.
No, is it... That supermarket.
Oh, Tesco's?
Yeah, it was on that land.
Go on anyway.
It was, wasn't it?
I don't know. Netto's. The Court on the Hop it was.
It was just on
where the co-op is now.
Right.
Yeah.
So we borrowed this girl's car and she lived at this end of the street.
Yeah.
What was her name? I think she was called Sherry. And she lent us her car, me and Gilly. Well, we'd had a tab of acid, a bit of acid.
Oh, no, man. Go on.
So we gets in the car, I'm driving the car, and we park outside this pub here.
Yeah.
Next thing, we parked up, and the smoke coming off from the dashboard and everything, filling the car up. So we got teaching, I got out of the car, shut the door and went for a pint. When we come back, all the smoke had gone. And I just got in the car and it started up. That was a weird situation. And another situation was when Gilly, I think Gilly had some bad news, I think. And we was at a party or something. But we'd had another tab, half each.
Yeah.
And Gilly, I seen Gilly crying in the corner. And when I went over to him, and I thought, I can see blood coming out of his eyes. This is the gospel truth.
Yeah. And
I went over, and I looked, and I could still see it coming out. That was a weird experience. It's true that.
The tripping, that's the what.
Yeah, it was weird.
Wow.
It was. I mean, I seen blood coming out of somebody's eyes, you know, like tears.
Yeah.
You know?
What did it do? What did it do to you?
I just looked and I thought, oh, you know. And after that, I spoke to him and it was all right. It was okay. That was a weird situation. I know another guy who was in the same house, and the house caught fire, and he had to jump out of the window, you know, in his underpants. I think it was a guy called Mally, not Mally, a Liverpool guy who used to stay down here for a while.
Go on,
It was something like Mally, and the house set on fire when he was in bed with her. And he had to jump out the window in his underpants. You know, another time, Paul Mullins, when we lived in this flat here, we'd had something else again, me and Paul. Anyway, I was joking. I said, oh, it was a red hot night. I said, do you want to wear them to go down there? They look like shorts. There was underpants. So...
Gone all baggy.
No, so we walked down here.
Yeah.
Got to the park gates.
Yeah.
Walked through the park, down Princess Road and went in the Reno.
In his
and he had his
underpants.
underpants on.
What colour was his underpants?
I think they were kind of like a green and bluish stripe. He was climbing over the fence, man, with his underpants on, you know.
That would have been a great night for us, though, you know, like.
I don't know if anybody will remember it though, but there may be one or two who remember it. Yeah, that was.
No, but because we're not on the vibe that yous are on, we're just seeing a guy in his underpants.
Yeah, no, but that's how it was, Paul. You know, you could have a laugh with Paul, really. But he did wear his underpants to go down. I just thought it was a laugh. I was laughing, man, you know.
Oh, when you laugh when you're tripping, though, man, it's deadly. It could kill you, couldn't it?
Yeah, but I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah, just
I couldn't have gone down there. Like
nobody in the right mind could have gone down. He just your under. What did he have on top?
I think he had a shirt. A short sleeve shirt. He had a short sleeve shirt on, you know.
Fucking hell, man, in his underpants.
Yeah, I got married in that house there, you know.
I know. We'll have to take a picture as the last shot.
Yeah, who is it?
I've no idea who lives there.
No, it was okay. I had the full top floor with
that
Sonia.
That would have been a massive
and Phyllis. It was. I had a big double garage and everything, you know. But that was a long time ago. When I think back now, it's strange. You know, when you think back now, you're thinking back in 50s, aren't you?
Yeah. Wow.
Do you know what I mean? You're not thinking of 5 years ago or whatever. Yeah. Even 5 years now, it's like 2 years, isn't it? Yeah. It goes that fast.
No, it does go fast. See how you made me laugh and how you've turned me into wanting to kill myself with fear?
No. You must smile, you see.
Yeah. No, it's true. 50 years, 40 years feels like nothing. It feels like yesterday.
I know. That's why it's precious.
No,
I mean, a lot of people have died, haven't they? So it's good to live your life and enjoy every minute of it while we're still here.
No, you're right.
Because there's no retakes, and once you're gone,
It's true, you know, there's no retakes. And I don't think you understand what that means till you get older.
No, you don't. Well, you don't even think you're going to get old, do you?
No, it's true.
It's just you think, oh, look at that old guy, but you never really think you're going to be 60.
No.
Or 60, 70. You know, when you sat in the Reno at 17 and 18, you don't think you're going to. It doesn't really click, does it?
No, you can't. It can't click, can you?
But then you can look back and you can go, boom, 20 years has just gone. Where's it gone, you know?
But do you know what I'm loving about the video memoirs though, Billy?
What's that?
Looking back.
Yeah.
I think it's fun, you know, like looking back. It's proper, and being able to have this opportunity to look at your life.
That's why that bird says, don't forget your past.
Yeah.
That's what that means. Go back and have a look.
What's the name of the bird again?
The Sankofa bird.
And is it all over Africa or just from Ghana?
No, just Ghana.
Ghana.
What they do, originally it was all on carvings of stools.
Oh, okay.
You know, that symbol there, they used to carve it as a central piece on an Ashanti stool. And print it onto material.
And what does this one mean?
That means accept God.
Accept God.
Yeah. Now, there's two ways of looking at that.
Yeah.
You could think, does it mean accept him as your God, or does it mean only God can do that, accept God? Do you understand what I mean?
Accept God or accept
But I actually
God.
think it means accept him.
Yeah.
You know, and there's nothing wrong with that, because there is a God, isn't there?
I've no idea.
You know, there is.
There's got to be something's going on, but I don't know if it's a God.
There is something like a God.
Yeah.
There's a God. There must be.
Well, some odd's going on, isn't it? It's proper. Everything's magical. Do you know what really sticks in my mind?
What's that?
A baby folded up in its mother. That's astonishing, isn't it? You know, like a flipping pre-thingy chicken folded up. That's astonishing.
That's why I done that piece that looks like an embryo.
Oh yeah.
And it looks like a pregnant woman.
Yeah.
The ball.
Do you know at the excavation you could set up a stall and sell your jewellery? Couldn't you? And get commission.
It's quite possible because it's a black thing. They are. Oh,
yeah, but besides it being a black thing, they're just beautiful things. And they've got weight in them as well.
Yeah, they're not flimsy, are they?
No.
And they're all stamped up. It's got my initials on there, you know.
Has it?
Yeah, it's been stamped up from the assay office in Sheffield.
Brilliant.
All my work, you know.
But you could, like on the last day, there'd be an open day and an art installation. I'm going to turn the Reno into an art installation. It's a bit secret. But you could have a stall and sell your jewellery on the Reno site when we excavate it.
I don't think they'd want to pay.
The money? No, true. Yeah, but you can get some publicity out of it.
Yeah, well, that's...
You can have it on show.
Yeah, I could do, yeah. It'd be nice, yeah. I may do that.
Why not?
Yeah, I may do that. I might do that, yeah. When is it anyway?
The 12th of June.
The 12th of June.
We're going to start digging it up.
Yeah, how long do they reckon that will take?
3 weeks. Yeah, they have, there's 20 people allowed on. There'll be proper archaeologists from Salford Archaeology in Salford University. And there'll be about 4 of them, like official people.
Yeah.
And then there's 20 places.
Yeah.
So, that they health and safety allow on any archaeological dig at one time. 14 of them will be us, and 6 of them will be white middle class I sounded proper racist when I said that. Didn't I? Proper racist. White middle class archaeology enthusiasts who follow them around. Yeah, and then the first couple of days it will be a JCB because the Reno, the Western, and the Nile they've been knocked into it.
Yeah.
You know, like so the JCB will take the heavy stuff out. You know, because we did a test dig and they'll take the lintels and the flooring from upstairs out, and then it'll take 3 weeks to excavate it down to the dance floor.
So you're hoping to find some artefacts in there? Yeah,
definitely. And on the last day, it's a top secret. When we've done all that and it's all empty and cleaned up, I'm going to do like this gorgeous art installation about our video memoirs, our photographs, and the DJ stage and any artefacts. Yeah. And then in 2019, Manchester Museum, because that's the first lot they've got, is going to exhibit it in Manchester Museum, the artefacts and the archive, as a civilization or a kingdom. Because to me, that's what it is. It's us.
Yeah, no, it's good.
It's good though, isn't it, man?
Yeah,
you know,
good.
for us to have a place in society, not just it's in the fucking West Indian Centre or so. Do you know what I mean? Like it's in somewhere that means so much to me, man. It proper means a lot to me.
I can imagine.
You know that it's dead official and right and.
Yeah. You've done well to get to the position where you've got.
No, thank you.
You have. How did you manage that?
It's a long fucking story. It's about 20 years old.
I'm interviewing you now.
Yeah, I get that.
if you don't mind.
Twitch cameras. Yeah.
How did you manage that?
About 20. Well, I was just good at writing at school, right? I was just, and I was lucky I had good teachers when I was really little. And to cut a long story short, I did the thing like you did, got caught up in the Reno, did whatever, fell in love, did all sorts of things. And when I was about 30, I decided that I wanted to be what I was at school, which was a writer. So it took me a long time, man.
So you couldn't have done that if you would have kept on living a lifestyle like in the Reno, could you?
I kind of disagree with you because I couldn't have become... I couldn't do
who
this
you
project.
are because of that.
Because of the Reno.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
A lot of how I... Because a lot of people who write, and people's going to hate when I say this, they write to what the establishment expects them to write.
Rather than what they feel.
Yeah, exactly.
From inside.
And all the time that I've been in the writing world, the Reno and all my people's in my heart, and it can't be taken out. And I've tried to do it their way. Do you know what I mean? And like you've seen in the video, you know, and then I ended up fucked up. So the thing was, just turn around and go fucking back home. And back home's where my people and my audiences, do you know what I mean, and everything.
No, it's really good if you can do that, and it's what you like, and it's for your own people and that. That's why I started to do my jewellery like that, meaning something.
Yeah.
But
what?
But I just stack it up. I make it and just put it down.
Why do you do that?
What I used to say is, or I think, is that when I get older, I won't have to go underneath cars or work on motors. I can just sit down and do the job. And I thought maybe it will be okay because I can, you know, get scrap gold and turn it into a new piece or whatever it may be. And it's like kind of like my pension, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
So I wasn't too bothered about selling it. I went through the phase where I thought I could, and it's kind of difficult. So I've just made stuff and put it down and just do commissions. Right,
but that's great. Why is it difficult, the prices? People don't realise how much time it takes.
No, I know. I think you'd have to go to an area, more of an exclusive area, to get the kind of money that would make it worthwhile, you know. But you're not going to get it around here.
No, because they haven't got the money to pay for it. Yeah, it's not, they haven't got the money. But there are people who have got the money to pay for it.
Yeah, but maybe they don't want it. You know? And to me, I don't mind criticism. I've never minded criticism. I think criticism is good, you know, because it helps you to think about that criticism and why, you know, why it's like that. So I could have done it, but I just missed opportunities. I've had opportunities in the past, but you don't follow them through all the time.
So then you need to start following it through, because it's pension time now, mate.
Yeah.
No, it's true, it's pension time now. We need to settle down. Do you know what I mean, don't we? So it's time to sell it. And do you know what's good about what you've done, though? Is that you've got a store now. You've got a stock.
I've already got a stock.
You've already got a stock.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. But I like what you've done. Oh yeah, but you never told me anyway.
What?
How you managed to get where you got. When you was 30, you thought, oh, I'm going back to college.
No, I haven't been to college. I've never been. I'm not taught anything.
Well, what did you do?
Oh, it's too long a story.
I've
done a full apprenticeship.
Briefly.
I've done a full apprenticeship. I've learned my craft. Like anything else, I learned two things at the same time. I learned how to hold my own, and everybody says that I seem to hate the white middle class, but they're completely all over the art world. So I learned to hold my own and kind of remain Reno-ish and Moss-eyed, which I knew was vital.
You kept your roots.
Yeah, somehow I knew, and they loved that I was rude and swore at them and carried on with myself, do you know what I mean? So it made me memorable. But at exactly the same time, I learned my craft. So I got techniques like I'd learned mind mapping, you know, so instead of like trying to write everything, I kind of like tell a story in images on my books, and then I could.
But you knew what they were.
But I know what
that image was a
yeah,
word
exactly.
or whatever.
And then
Is that
I
not
could,
like shorthand or something? Or
kind of.
I met a girl once who'd done a bit of an article years ago, and I looked at her writing, and it was all squiggles, and I said to her, "Can you understand that?" She says, "Yeah, I'll sort it out in words later." Yeah. So it might be a similar thing.
Yeah. So I've spent, and then for the last 6 years, after the thing with the woman telling me if I came back in the place she'd call the police, I've just been hell-bent on trying to understand why the fuck did I let her speak to me like that.
Yeah.
I even feel upset when I talk about it. And why was I afraid? And so I've been really looking at slave narratives, at, do you know, like that working class.
So from that situation where you sent that email, and then you got your answer saying don't go back, what happened after that?
I've just been studying to understand. I've had loads of psychotherapy, I've had loads of counselling. I just really, really wanted to understand why I was so afraid of that woman.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and that kind of led back to. There's another incident as well where I had a row with my girlfriend, and being all really dramatic, she called the police. So the police came, right, and I'm still fucking getting upset. The police came, and when they was in the room, she's white, and when they was looking at us, and we're both over 50, well, she was over 40 and I'm over 50, all I felt was that they was, no matter what had happened, it was my fault. Do you know what I mean? And so those two things, her telling me to come out the play, that feeling like that about the police, it just like, I need to know why the fuck I feel like this. And I know it's not just me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the whole project is about looking at that.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
But different people bring different things to the interviews, don't they?
Yeah.
You've been watching them.
Yeah, I've watched most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's like I say, I never went to jail and that, but I have had a couple of experiences of racism where I totally didn't expect it.
Yeah.
You know, because I was driving this car once, And I went up to Fallowfield, parked where my mate lived, down this cul-de-sac. Next thing, there was a load of police vans coming down, banging on this door. And I was stood there watching them with my mate, and they said, who are you? I said, I'm not telling you who I am. Why should I tell you who I am? I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
So they said to me, you look like the guy who lives in the house. And my mate said, he looks nothing like the guy who lives in the house. The guy who lives in that house is full colour, you know. So they were just being awkward. And, he said, what's your name? I said, I'm not telling you. So he said to me, all right, we'll make you our business later.
Wow.
So I stayed at my friends for a bit. They left. After about an hour, I jumps in my car to come home. Gets down the street to Mosley Road, is it? Going towards Fallowfield.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Mosley Road, near that Jehovah's Witness place. So I'm driving there and they come up behind me and flash me. So I stop the car and he says to me, oh, you're not so fucking tough now, are you?
Wow.
I says, why are you saying it, speaking to me like that? He said, you fucking lot. And it was at the time when the shootings and all that was going on. So he says, you lot, you're all fucking killing each other and all this. This was a young policeman, two of them. So I thought, I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Because I've never been spoke to like that before.
Same day the police come to my girlfriend's house. Same thing, a young policeman. And that, do you know what I mean? It's like nothing's changed. Yeah. Go on.
So I said to them, why did you pull me? They says, we told you we'd pull you. You know, so they said, what's your name? So I says, well, I'm driving the car now, so I will tell you my name. So I told them my name anyway. So they give me this thing to produce at Platt Lane. So I went to Platt Lane to produce, and I put an official complaint in. And then that went to Charlton police station at the time. And I had to go down there, see this officer. And I said, these two guys are racist. They're really racist. They're like Gestapo. He says to me, nah, them guys are good guys. They work in Moss Side. I said, I'm telling you that they were racist. But if I would have had a microphone, I would have taped it. Yeah. Because he was calling me a fucking bastard and all this and you lot. Wow. I had never experienced that before. And it made me feel like I wish I'd have been a villain. Yeah. You know, I wish I would have been a villain. Yeah. Because then I would have just been laughing at them. Yeah. But to treat me like that, I said, listen, see you, at one time I would have helped you. If I seen anybody bothering you, I said I would have stopped and I would have helped you. I says, but now they can kick your fucking head in for all I care. And that's the gospel truth on my son's life.
What did they say to that?
Didn't say anything. So I had to go and see this whoever it was at Charlton, and he says to me, "Oh no, the good boys, I'll sort it out." And then I got a letter saying, "No, we've had a word with them, and then I hope it's all right," and just washed it under the carpet, you know.
Yeah, I do.
And that was really out of order, and it hurt me.
No, it does hurt.
It hurt me.
It does fucking
because
hurt.
I'd done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I always, you know. And I wish I would have been a baddie.
Yeah.
You know, just to have the last laugh.
It does hurt. It does fucking hurt.
You know, that was an experience.
And because you feel powerless as well when it's happening.
Well, you can't do nothing. You just have to take a spanking, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
I seen Dave Jwando one night, you know, outside the Reno. Just come from the Bluemoose. And Dave was talking to these guys, man, police. The next thing, I seen one guy lift up about 2 foot off the ground and went flying back. And Dave just legged it round the back. I think they got him though. I think he might have done some time for that. Yeah, David, man. Yeah, so that was it. That's my only experience of really the racism. apart from going to the odd job, you know.
Yeah.
And you know that you're not going to get the job, you know. That's it. So I did work for myself for a lot of years, you know. Yeah. But it's a good life.
It is.
It is such a good life.
I'm fucking wasted now. Are you?
Why are you wasted?
Yeah.
Are you tired?
No. You know when you just gone like spend. No, I feel good. I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can I say now then? Any more stories? No, I've not got any funny ones.
You got any truly sad ones?
Yeah.
Go on.
When I split up with my missus, she left on a Sunday, and I brought my dad to live with me on the Tuesday, because he was ill, you know.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'll look after him, you know, and it'll take my mind off my breakup. So I looked after my dad for 5 years. And after the 5 years, but before he died, the district nurses were saying, oh, you'll be all right when the time comes, we'll look after him and all that. At the end, he wanted to go to the toilet. And I was walking him to the toilet and he says, oh, I can't move. So I sat him down, I phoned the ambulance, took him to the hospital. When I took him into the hospital now, he used to have a catheter, my dad, coming out of his stomach. So it was wet, you know. So I went in the hospital and said he's not well, he can't move. Anyway, I seen a young nurse and I said to her, oh, can you get us a pad, you know, so I could tidy him up. She brought me a pad. Next thing, this young woman comes in and she said, don't you be ordering our nurses around. I said, look, it was wet and I wanted to change him. So she said, what's wrong with him? There's nothing wrong with him. Take him home.
Shit,
so I started to go off a bit here. And she says, if you don't shut up, I'll get the security guards onto you. So I thought, well, I'm not taking him home. He's staying here. So I left. 6:30 the following morning.
Oh, don't.
I got a phone call. Your father's been shipped to an old folks' home in Wally Range here.
Oh.
Right? So I went there. And there was some black guys working there. And I thought, oh, he'll be all right here. You know. Next thing, she said to me, the matron of the place, an Irish woman, she says to me, your father looks very constipated. Do you mind if we pull some feces out of him? She says, it's all right, I'm a qualified nurse. So I took it for granted that it was okay, right? So I went back the next day.
Oh, damn.
And it bit all his tongue, man. It bit right through his tongue because there was, you know, might have been messing, you know. And that was it. They rushed him back to the hospital and he was dead 3 days later. Jesus. After them telling me that there was nothing wrong with him, right?
And what did he die from?
But before he died, he was lying in a bed. And this Nigerian doctor came by and he says, oh, what's wrong with him? I said, oh, I brought him in on Friday. They said there was nothing wrong with him, sent him home, and now he's back here. So he said to the nurse, go and get his notes from the reception. There was no notes. There was no notes, no evidence that I'd ever took him there.
Wow. From the time before?
From 3 days before.
Yeah.
There was no notes, nothing. So I didn't pursue it because I've tried to pursue a couple of other things, what have happened to me, and you just get wiped over. Do you know what I mean? Things that really did happen, you know, and then they just cover it up and say, no, that couldn't have happened. because things have happened to me on an occasion. So anyway, he died 3 days later. That was after having him 5 years.
What did he die of?
All sorts, you know, like old age. He was 84, but I think he had that catheter problem. He had other problems, you know, maybe like blood pressure or whatever it may be. And that was it. He died, you know. So doing that took the worry about thinking of my breakup of my marriage, you know, because I was doing that. But after 5 years, when that's all done, then it started to come back. You know, because that's when you've got more time to think about it. But everything's cool now, you know.
Yeah.
But that was a bad experience. You know, I remember going to the doctors once myself, you know, and I said, doctor, my neck's killing me. And I was saying it for about 3 years. And he sent me to a place up in Longside that was, it was just garbage. They didn't even have
the physiotherapist.
They didn't even have an X-ray machine. So they sent me at the same day to another place down the road, Dickinson Road. Went in there, he says, lift your arms up. I lifted my arms up. He says, go home and get your weights out. Right? So what happened, I goes home and my neck's still hurting me and I'm getting pains down this arm. So I says, listen, I want to get my neck looked at properly. So he booked me into one of the hospitals. He scanned it. Never told me what was wrong. And they must have told the doctor. He must have got a reply from the hospital. Anyway, nothing was said. And I'm still complaining and complaining about my neck. One day, Christmas Eve, I collapsed to the floor.
Wow, go on.
And I thought, oh, what's this? And I tried to get up off the floor. Couldn't get off the floor. My son helped me up. And I went to the hospital the next morning. Told them what happened. Because I banged my head falling down. So they put me on a bed with this thing round my neck. 2.5 weeks. I've got this thing round my neck, right? And not supposed to move. Then the doctor came to me and he said, we know what you've got now. I said, what is it? He said, it's gone further in.
What?
I said, what's gone further in?
What?
He said, the disc has gone further into your spinal cord.
Shit, man.
And the doctor knew. And I'm complaining and he just fuck all till I fell and was taken to the hospital. Do you know what I mean? And then it all comes out that they knew what I had, but they let me walk round with it. They let me walk round with it a couple of years or so.
A couple of years?
Yeah. Until I fell down and they found out what it was. But it used to hurt me, all down my arm and everything, you know.
Wow.
But I had that done and it was okay. I had to have, they took the disc out, put what they call a rack in, and your bone grows back over that.
Okay.
So that's what I had, you know.
So before we end,
yes,
tell me the last thing you got to say about the Reno.
The last thing.
Go on.
I must say it was a wonderful place.
Oh.
It was a great place.
No, but it was.
It was a good place, it was. But don't make an habit of it too much.
Thank God it's gone. We'd all be in there, you know, old age pensioners. We've had different, like, broken necks, broken ankles, everything. Arthritis.
It was good, it was good.
No, it wasn't.
It was like living something that you'd never seen. You'd only see it on a film, wouldn't you? You know. And in there, you was part of the film.
Oh, that's a great way to say.
No, well, you was, wasn't you?
No, it's
in my head.
No, in my head
it
too.
It was like a film.
Yeah.
Going in there.
Yeah.
You know.
It was all bit plays in a film.
It was good. It was good. It was good.
Right, man. Thank you, Billy.
No problem.
It's a wrap.
I hope it was okay.
Yeah, we've got loads of different movies.